What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As always, keeping you up to date on all the latest wrestling news, rumors, and reports. Today we're talking the latest in regards to two major returns to WWE, and it looks like one of those, that John Cena return, might be coming very soon. The latest in regards to Velveteen Dream getting fired, backstage news on a certain WrestleMania Backlash match that we got to see and we hope we never see it again, shocking return on SmackDown, and everything that went down on that Friday night show. Before we get into it though, make sure that you guys turn on those notifications to continue being up to date, and if you want even more wrestling, consider checking out the second channel. And we got more updates and reports in regards to a John Cena return to the WWE. The Wrestling Observer Radio is reporting that John Cena is being discussed for a big return in July. This of course comes after the recent breaking news where WWE announced that July 16 episode SmackDown will be the first of 25 live events of the company returning to touring. The reports indicate that a John Cena return on that show is being discussed. The 16-time world champion hasn't been seen since WrestleMania 36. John Cena has of course been busy on Hollywood, even now filming the Peacemaker spin-off for HBO Max. There was a lot of rumors of him making it to WrestleMania 37 this year, but that obviously didn't happen due to scheduling and just his prior commitments. But John Cena did admit that he cannot wait to get back into a WWE ring. There's no specifics on what he could be doing when he returns, but of course the July 16 episode SmackDown is the go-home episode before the Money in the Bank pay-per-view that weekend. So WWE could end up building something big for him for that pay-per-view, or of course they could start planning things out for SummerSlam if they want him to be in a match at that event. I don't expect this to be a surprise from WWE though. If John Cena is going to be returning, I feel like they are going to be announcing it and advertising it, because of course they gotta sell tickets. It's no longer going to be in the Thunderdome, and announcing John Cena for a big event like this is only gonna help drive fans back into the arena. This also leads into other big speculations of returns, because it has been long rumored that fans coming back to the arena could facilitate the returns of certain top stars besides John Cena, such as Becky Lynch and Brock Lesnar. At this point, I could certainly see WWE bringing back Becky Lynch before SummerSlam and building something towards it. Becky Lynch had to step out of the WWE the night after Money in the Bank last year, so it will be fitting for her to make that return this year on the Monday Night Raw after Money in the Bank, which is that first Raw with live audience. That would then kick off a massive SummerSlam storyline for her, which I hope is something that WWE already has planned out. The main event women's division on Monday Night Raw simply consists of Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley, and Asuka, so Becky Lynch right now is really needed, especially since WWE can't get a hang of building brand new main event level superstars. Onto some other news following all of the releases that we got on Wednesday. We thought WWE was gonna stop right there, but they didn't. It has been confirmed that the Velveteen Dream has been released from his WWE NXT contract. Velveteen Dream was of course considered to be one of the standouts in NXT. He was said to be moved up to the main roster and be one of the top stars on Raw and SmackDown. Then of course multiple accusations came out last year of inappropriate messages. It all led WWE standing by him for the time being, even brought him back, but then he ended up disappearing again and not showing up on television. He was said to be backstage on Monday Night Raw a couple of weeks ago, but of course there was no plan of him getting used, all leading to his release this week, which again came with 8 different names that were released on Wednesday. The last thing that we heard in regards to this situation was that WWE didn't release him because they were still investigating the whole situation. So now it looks like they're done investigating and clearly something was found, although it was found on the first week that all of this came out, because it was extremely obvious. There's other reports coming out now also indicating that Velveteen Dream was described as one of the most unprofessional person to work with in wrestling, and it was clear that he had a lot of backstage heat with other co-workers in the backstage. Onto some other news, it looks like at least it was worth it for WWE to give us a zombies lumberjack match, regardless of how horrific it was worth it because according to a report from Ringside News, WWE was said to have made over $1 million in sponsorship just for that match. The movie, by the way, it's officially out now on Netflix, of course starring Batista, directed by Zack Snyder. The report went on to add that this was actually WWE's president, Nick Khan's sponsorship deal idea, and hopefully it's the last sponsorship idea that he ends up giving us. You have over 30 creative writers working for you, so maybe put one of them to work on something better and figure it out a better idea. And good for WWE on getting that money, but unfortunately in that same match we ended up having The Miz suffering a torn ACL, and right now he is said to be out of action for 4 to 6 months, although we are waiting for a full update on that, on whether he will need surgery or not. And last but not least, we are discussing what went down on this week's SmackDown, the May 21st, 2021 episode, featuring an Intercontinental Championship Fatal 4-Way main event match. The show started off with Friday Night SmackDown's Parade of Champions, in which Sonya introduced all of the champions on SmackDown right now. The last one to be introduced was Roman Reigns, but Roman Reigns didn't come out. Instead, we ended up getting Paul Heyman coming out with Roman Reigns' old Shield music, which is actually pretty cool. I hope they continue to use that every time Paul Heyman comes out, because it's a nice touch and at least still keeps that Roman Reigns old theme song alive. Anyways, Paul Heyman came out indicating that everyone here is a title holder and that the only champion is Roman Reigns. This then led to Bayley interrupting the segment, of course going after Bianca Belair, all leading to Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler coming out of nowhere, teaming with Bayley, defeating SmackDown Women's Champion Bianca Belair and the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Champions Natalya and Tamina. Michael Cole said that the only reason why Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax were there was because they were using the quarterly appearance rule that WWE still has. I wonder what excuse they're gonna end up using next week. We had Shinsuke Nakamura coming out with Rick from NXT, who is making his main roster debut. They jamming it out to, of course, the King of Strong Styles entrance, and this is the Shinsuke that we've been waiting for, the one that enjoys what he's doing out there. Shinsuke goes on and defeats King Corbin, and he's still wearing that crown, still looking like a king. We had Cesaro challenging Roman Reigns to a Universal title rematch at Hell in a Cell. Before Roman even accepted though, here comes Seth Rollins, goes absolutely insane. He is blaming Cesaro for him getting so violent against him. And all of this reminds me of like when Seth Rollins turned heel. He was conflicted of becoming this violent man, and now he's questioning why he is so violent. So maybe all of this is leading towards him turning babyface eventually. We had Dominic Mysterio defeating Robert Roode, and into the main event we had Apollo Crews defeating Kevin Owens, Big E, and Sami Zayn in an Intercontinental Championship match. This was an awesome main event with a big shocking return at the end. Aleister Black, of course, has been cutting a few promos in the backstage over the last couple of weeks, teasing that upon his return he will be a heel, and that is exactly what he did. During this main event match, the crowd was obviously behind Big E retaining that title, and just when it appears that Big E was gonna get that victory in that match, out comes Aleister Black through a thick fog and delivers a black mass to Big E, all giving Apollo Crews an open window to get the pinfall and the victory. So it looks like we know the plans for Aleister Black, and that is a feud against Big E, one of the top baby faces on SmackDown. And I am excited to see how this plays out. Hopefully WWE doesn't ruin this Aleister Black run. Anyways guys, that is all the latest and what went down on SmackDown. If you enjoyed, found it informative, don't forget to elbow drop it and hit those notifications. I'll catch you on the next one, so stay savage.